Hi, welcome to Author's Note.
Don't listen.
My name is Cas.
And my name's Teese.
And this week we're joined by our wonderful guest, VantaBlack Cosplay.
Yay!
Yay, welcome.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me, guys.
So, because you are our guest, would you like to tell us what you have been watching or reading or checking out this last week that you're really excited about, or maybe that sucked?
Promised Neverland, super excited. Honestly, every Tuesday I sit on pins and needles because I'm like, oh, my babies, my children.
Which child will die today?
I know, I'm always like, oh my god. There's one little girl and she's got like big brown eyes and she's black and she's got big curly hair and she's the cutest. I'm like, that's my baby. And I look at her every week and I'm like, please don't die.
Oh my god, it's like ruin the Hunger Games when you finally saw it in theaters and you're like, you know what's gonna happen to this baby, but I don't want it to happen to this baby.
Please don't take her.
We live in the promised Neverland where she is okay and she is not hurt.
Exactly. That, and I've been watching WandaVision. Every week it has descent more and more into madness. It's great. I absolutely love it. I've been catching up on Jujutsu Kaisen. I just call it Juju at this point. What's the other one? Oh, and Attack on Titan, which is hilarious because I was one of those people like, I hate Attack on Titan, and now I'm like, every Sunday must watch Attack on Titan. Like, it was such a slow burn, and people who binge watched it and then ended up watching it now, all in one go, I'm like, see, you didn't have to suffer those 3 years where they were on hiatus.
I unfortunately dropped it after the first season just because I don't agree with what the author stands for, and then in turn themes that boils into the series.
Good choice.
However, I understand that people are really excited for it, and it's really, the season's really juicy, isn't it?
Yeah, the season's
I've heard it's really good,
wild.
but I'm still never gonna go back to it because fuck people who are imperialist. And,
imperialism. We
believe in Korean genocide.
We're not a fan. That's a big no. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. I don't want to even get near it. Usually I can separate art from the artist, but not in this case, especially because he's still alive and people actively continue to support their works.
Well, and people deny the existence of it within the manga too.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
You're reading too far into it. It's not nationalist, and it's like, buddy.
Okay.
It's so funny because the opening theme, there's animation of people marching with guns. I'm like, this is a very nationalist. I don't.
It's oh my god. I haven't seen much of Star Wars, but I always think about how people are like, well, Star Wars this. I'm like, don't you realize that those are just space Nazis? I hate to use the term space Nazis, but that's
well, and I recall I followed a Jewish blogger for a period of time who expressed how uncomfortable she was watching the movie with her children because they didn't realize what that iconography was, but she did, and she's like, especially in The Force Awakens, when you have Hux standing up there in Nazi regalia, essentially with these big billowing red flags, and it's I understand why they're doing it, but have we heard of generational trauma?
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
To change the subject, anything else you've been watching, Vanta, or is that pretty much it?
I feel like I watch so much, so whenever people ask this, I'm like, I
feel
watch
that.
it all. Not too long ago, I finished God of High School, which was a wild ride, and I actually really liked it. It's pretty weird, but I don't know, I just liked it. The intro was great. It's very dubsteppy, and I play it at work every day, so.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I need good pump up music, I feel for work, so I don't blame you. What about you, Cass? Anything?
I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah!
building those snowmen.
That's pretty much it this week. I finished watching the Terror series, so I think I've brought up Terror 3 or 4 times in a row each week when I've brought it, whether it be the book or the show. So I finished the show last night. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Did you watch the second season? Because I know you haven't seen the second
I have not watched the second season yet. I do want to check it out. I do. I just need to watch something a little bit happier for a bit before I go back to the terror.
Understandable.
I was like, ooh, this is rough.
A little heavy.
This is a rough one.
I get that 100%.
What about you, Teese?
So not to get heavy again, but I recently listened to Jamie Loftus's Lolita podcast.
Oh my god.
Which
oh my god.
Yeah, it's a 10-episode podcast about the cultural significance, importance, and ultimately how society encapsulates and takes Lolita and how misinterpreted it is. And I really like Jamie Loftus. I knew her originally through her They Let a Dumb Bitch Into Mensa articles, which I fucking love because hard relate. And so
sorry, that really got me.
It's really good. They're really good articles if you've never read them. And it's clearly done from a place of somebody who both knows what it's like to be sexualized in a way that they're not comfortable with, as well as in a way that they know how to look at something academically, which I really appreciated. And she did a fantastic job of talking about how the culture of Lolita still lives on today. She talks obviously about like Lana Del Rey and nymphet culture within Tumblr and all that stuff. And for a podcast that's only 10 episodes, I'm going to say about 20 hours total, it was incredibly nuanced. It was incredibly beautiful. I really think it exemplified exactly what we could do with the audio medium, and it's a really good mixture of pop culture and fan studies and literature conversation analysis, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And I mean, if you can stomach the conversation about these types of situations and themes that Lolita holds, I highly recommend. So that's what's been up in this neck of the woods.
That's pretty dope.
But
I will check that out. That sounds
I
fantastic.
highly recommend it. And like you know me, I love my 10-episode mini podcast series. So I found it absolutely wonderful, I must say.
That's cool.
That's it. But today we are talking about cosplay, the natural cosplay hair community, and all of that kind of fun stuff. So to get started, VantaBlack cosplay. Tell us your cosplay origins, I guess. What was your first cosplay? How did you get into cosplay? I know these answers already, but the audience doesn't.
I'm glad you asked, Teese. Whenever people ask me what's my origin story, I always tell them I give you the most credit because in college, Teese was going to a con, and I said, I'm like, oh my god, I want to go to a con. I've always wanted to go, but I'm like not really good in crowds, and what if, people like don't know who I am, or they like make me feel weird because of my race. And so Teese was like, oh no, don't worry about it. There's Cosplaying While Black on Tumblr. And so you sent me the link, and that like changed my whole world and changed how like I see myself and how I see being a nerd too. And so I was like, oh my god, look at all these people cosplaying. I have to do this. So I got my, pieces off Amazon. I got a beeper from our friend's dad. My first cosplay. The con beeper. My first cosplay was Batman Beyond, and I got a unitard from Amazon. Painted the bat emblem on my chest with Rust-Oleum spray paint. Got the con beeper and luggage tags and velcroed them onto my body, and
yes.
And the rest is history. I had so much fun that day. The whole making process was amazing, and I'm like, I have to do this forever. Like I just like making it.
That was just so wonderful too, like us sitting on the floors of our dorm rooms working together. Like, it was such a communal experience because it was a whole group of us. I was the only one who was not cosplaying Batfam that day.
Literally,
out of, like,
yeah.
the 5 of us that were there together. And it was so nice. Like, I was working for, I was doing social media for a small website that no longer exists at that time too. So I was like, let me give my friends some clout. And I like took photos of everybody and posted it on the account. And it was just like, I was like, I need to make sure that my friends have the best time possible at Baby's First Con, Baby's First Cosplay. I was like, this is my duty as a seasoned cosplayer. I need to make sure everybody has fun.
Con mom.
Everyone needs a con mom.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, con mom. And giving each other...
And I still am.
Yeah, giving each other fruit snacks and juice boxes.
Yeah.
That's true love.
Yeah, Vanta and I will see each other in hallways at conventions and like be able to talk for 30 seconds. But in those 30 seconds, we are always swapping food with each other.
Literally.
Or something.
I'm like, do you have Pocky? Do you have water? Do you have hand sanitizer? Okay, go.
You look a little dehydrated. Here's some water. Here's some lip balm.
Advil?
Put some sunscreen on. Oh God, the Advil.
Literally, I have heartburn meds. Do you need them? Like, I'm always
I noticed you took your heels off. Don't keep them off. Put your heels back on before your feet swell and you can't get back into them.
Do you need Advil like tattooed on my forehead? Because the amount of time.
Honestly, always. That's me and heartburn meds. Like, I've been at cons before, hanging out doing nothing, and then a friend has walked up to me. He's like, "Do you have heartburn meds on you?" I'm like, "Yeah, baby, I always do."
Like,
and I just like pull something out for them.
Yeah, I got
it. Is.
As the person who has always been eternally prepared because I have anxiety, and so I'm like, I need a first aid kit with me, a fresh pair of underwear, and a Cliff Bar at all times in addition to my regular like day-to-day pack. It was always like sitting in class and someone's like, I got period cramps, and I'm like, would you like Aleve? I have some Aleve for you. And they're like, oh no, I don't use Aleve. And I'm like, do you want Advil or Tylenol? Because I got those too.
You're a whole pharmacy.
I love to be prepared at conventions. It makes my life so much easier, though, I feel like.
It does. And I like planning cosplay clothes, like, for the purpose of that. Like, my utility belt, which my uncle gave to me, has so many pockets. And, like, I have Advil, I have a water bottle, I have
I'm
Band-Aids.
imagining you with, like, a packet of loose Advil pills like in this like little utility belt, and you flip it open and it's just all these little capsules.
We've literally done that
Oh God.
Got our cosplayers who like take the gourd off their back and they open it up and it's a whole pharmacy. There's water bottles in there. They got paper towel. They're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
That's so good. We love
build
people
storage into your cosplays.
That's yes. Entirely.
So, Vanta, would you like to tell us a little bit about the panel you run and, you know, where you've hosted it, but most importantly, some of the content of that panel?
Sure. So, origin story of the panel real quick was I went to BlurredCon, which is usually during the summer in DC, and I saw a bunch of people hosting panels. I'm like, that'd be really cool if, like, I did a panel on natural hair. And I like kind of said it as a joke. And then the next year, KatsuCon had opened up their panel applications, and Teese was like, are you gonna do a panel at Katsu? And I'm like, maybe, perhaps. So I applied, and then I got in, and I was like, oh shit, this is real.
I wasn't planning for this.
I was like, so we actually doing this. This isn't a joke. Okay. So basically the panel is about natural hair in the cosplay community, because I want people to see their natural hair or kinky hair, bantu knots, twists, locks. I want them to see it and be able to incorporate their own hairstyles into the character. And it's to embrace natural hair, because for such a long time, natural hair, especially within the Black community, wasn't appreciated and wasn't embraced as much as it is now. So with the natural hair movement becoming more prominent, Black-owned hair products being sold in stores like Target and CVS and Dwayne Reed, with all of that moving forward, I wanted to bring it to the cosplay community and highlight it. And so at my panel, I usually have one or two cosplayers who are also hairdressers, wig makers, wig stylers, or even parents who would style their kids' hair, and I have them speak at the panel. So this past summer, I hosted my panel at Planet Afropunk, which was a 3-day convention from Afropunk. And in the panel, I had one of my friends who's a cosplayer, and she makes her own wigs and also uses wigs as a protective style. And I also had another friend of mine who is bald, but he's a father, and his daughter has lots of natural hair. So it was like the juxtaposition of, you know, two opposite ends of the spectrum, being able to talk about natural hair, especially for men, because, you know, yes, he's bald, but he has had hair, and he uses his baldness also to, you know, embrace characters as well, because we know who he is, although he's bald. So that's kind of plays on one of the big themes I use as well, because people say like, oh, well, their hair is curly, that's not what the character looks like. But you can emulate the character without every single thing being accurate. Because what does accuracy mean?
Exactly.
Accuracy is not really a big deal. It's more of, are you embodying the character? Are you giving the character life? Are you making the character your own? So that's what I really want people to get.
Agreed. Yeah. And I think that's such a really refreshing way to look at it, because I do think, unfortunately, there's a part of the cosplay community that is really built around, you know, accuracy and like one-to-one representation of a character, which is cool and is admirable in its own right. But I always feel way more excited and sort of refreshed by these like new envisionings of characters, and like really taking them and adapting them to like who the cosplayer is and like what they want to embody and how they see the character too, and like how they personally connect to that character on a visual level.
Exactly. Because, I mean, if you have 10 people doing the same cosplay, like, that's cool. But if you have 10 people doing the same cosplay and making it their own and making it, you know, adding their own quirks to it, I feel like it's just cooler, and it just, you know, adds some personality to it.
Well, and I feel like that was part of the really amazing thing that happened during Blacktober too, was like seeing so many Black artists come forward and put their own spin on characters that they had grown up with, characters that were established that like we were used to seeing the same fan art of over and over again, and saying like, hey, look at this character if they were Black, and like, isn't this an amazing design, and like, how can we incorporate this and like put our own experiences into that character? And it's just like, it's so revitalizing in the fan community, and it's beautiful, and I want to see more of it.
Chef kiss.
Me too.
Chef kiss.
Yeah, I love like my head shaved, and even being at your panel, I was like, damn, their heads are shaved too. That's me. Like, there's a camaraderie, I think, in people. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not Black, but I still do use my natural hair for cosplay too. And even though it is geared more towards, your panel's geared more towards people who are Black, I still found a lot of merit in what you guys had to say and how to take care of your hair in relation to cosplay and stuff like that. And I feel like this isn't just for Black people. Obviously, once again, Black people are starting the movement, and thank God you guys are getting the credit this time around. But I feel like everybody should be invited to not wear a wig if they don't want to, or to have their natural hair going on. Like, who gives a shit? Like, cosplay is about wearing characters' clothing. Like,
well, because I think part of it is accessibility, right? Because like not everyone can afford a wig, and not everyone can like also afford to have that wig styled. So like, yeah, you know, obviously being geared at Black people, first of all, like, if you already have wigs, like, let's learn how to adapt those if you already wear them. But two, like, how can you work your natural hair to really forward this and, you know, like, embrace it and embrace your own image alongside the character?
That part. And like you said, you know, affordability is also a big thing too, because let's be real, wigs are not cheap. Like, a lace front, a good lace front, bruh, that's $40 and up. Like that, that's all.
On a good day.
On a good day.
When there are sales about,
Yeah, oof. And even like wigs that are geared as cosplay wigs, quote unquote, are so unnecessarily expensive. And sometimes they're ugly as hell to boot.
Also that, you know, it's interesting because one of my panelists and we were talking about a wig company and how, as of like the past year, they just started making curly wigs, like kinky curly wigs.
Interesting.
And we were both like, wait a minute, just a darn minute, because she had propositioned them and it was like, hey, could I do like a wig styling class and like explain like how to make kinky curly wigs and, you know, do a little promo video. And they kind of blew her off and just kind of ignored her. So now that, you know, kinky curly styles are more of the thing, now they want to promote it. And it's like, that's
shady.
Yeah. Like
it's racist.
Well,
it's racist.
It's racist.
And I'm all for kinky curly styles being everywhere. I want that. I want to see it everywhere. But at the same time, you know, you had an opportunity where a Black cosplayer was going to show you and show people how to do it, and you kind of sidelined her like that. It was weird.
That's just disingenuous as well, I feel like, oh, I wasn't good enough for you because you weren't going to make as much money off of me, but now that there is a possibility that you can, I would like...
Right.
That's...
As I was thinking about it too, like after we had our technical difficulties, I had this realization of like how important your panel is in terms of preservation as well. Because like historically, we don't have a lot of accounts of how Black people have managed and handled their hair. It's kind of been wiped out from a lot of, you know, more extant writing, which is a terrible shame. And I know like Bernadette Banner has a recording of a sort of like a panel she went to, basically, where it was describing how women took care of their hair, I believe in the 18th century. And they had all this information on how white women took care of their hair. And they were like, you know, admittedly, our information is a little lacking on how Black women and Black men took care of their hair. This is all we have, you know? And like going forward, just like being able to talk about these things, to have them recorded, to have them shared, like as silly as it sounds, even amongst the cosplay community, like that's so important. And like you never know like what nugget of information somebody's going to pick up that stays with them for the rest of their lives, even like if it was originally presented in the context of cosplay. It's like I feel like the tips you give are, you know, relevant to everyday life.
I never even thought of it that way. Oh my god. Wow.
Preservationist VantaBlack cosplay.
No, I sincerely hope that people take what I say in the panel and they use it every day. And I've had people message me, and I will try not to cry at this, but people have said to me like, oh my god, I use my natural hair in cosplay now because of you. And I like, someone said that to me maybe like last month, and I like was at work sobbing because I was just like, oh my god, stop.
That's huge.
And even to be in the audience, seeing people just absolutely light up and be able to relate to what you guys are saying and agreeing, it was so wonderful to see a community all of a sudden realize that there's other people like me doing the same exact things that I love. Like, I have to say, every time, like, I've gone to your panel once, but I've, like, watched clips of it at other cons, like, when you guys were doing digital and stuff like that. To see just the love that forms in the room each time you guys talk and people are relating with each other, it's really wonderful. Like, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I see you do stuff. Yeah. We love it.
Also, like, sometimes I don't usually think about it, but I'm also proud of me too, because I don't like speaking in front of people. I do not like, I'm not a public speaker, and I always get really, really nervous. And yet here you are on a podcast. And here I am on a podcast. I was on a podcast like 5 times in October. Like every week I was on a podcast, and every week I would get anxious, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to speak. What if I get tongue-tied? What if people say I sound weird? What if my accent comes out? And then I just like talk about, you know, what's going on, what I like to do, what I want to promote in the community. And it kind of flows. It just, it does get easier.
It just comes out.
Yeah, it definitely comes easier. And I feel like this is opening a lot of doors for me. Like this panel is opening a lot of doors for me, and it's helping me figure out my career, figure out what I want, and how I'm going to, you know, help the community too. One point that I brought up at Afropunk, which was kind of funny, but also very true, is that, you know, in Hollywood, there is a lot of Black actors and actresses, but there's not a lot of Black hairstylists. Because in a lot of these TV shows, I'm seeing these actors and actresses, their wigs look terrible.
Oh.
And
well, didn't it just came out, right, that the hairstylist on High School Musical didn't know what to do with the one actress's hair, so she was like, just give me a fucking headband.
And that's so degrading. And
or even her name's Prudence in Sabrina.
Yes,
she did the finger waves herself.
Oh my god. And you'd think Netflix, of all people,
right,
would have the budget to have a hairstylist, you know, and that's just a shame on us. Like, I always wonder about, well, how often do beauty schools are willing to teach it? You know what I mean? It's systemic. Yeah.
Well, because it just takes one shitty teacher to say, well, I'm not comfortable doing it, so you'll have to learn that outside of class.
Yeah, like, go fuck yourself, you're a teacher.
I agree. And some of my friends who have attended beauty school have made an effort to go out and learn Black hair because they know that they didn't get the full experience in college. So, you know...
well, and the same thing happens with tattooing, right?
Yes.
It's like there's so many tattoo artists who just don't know how to work with Black skin.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, you have people of color then who end up with terrible tattoos because their tattoo artist wouldn't even cop up to it, you know? So it's a good... So this is a good way for us to, like, segue into getting better and being better, you know? If we take it at such, like, a small scale like cosplay, and we're explaining to people why natural hair is important, why it's good to embrace your kinks and curls, we can move up the ladder. We can, you know, get to Hollywood. And I keep telling people, I'm like, listen, in 5-10 years, I'm going to be in Hollywood styling people's hair on TV, because if y'all don't know how to do it, you need to pay somebody who does.
Let's do it. I want to see it. And in that vein of thought, I know you've done a lot of stuff outside because of cosplay. You've gotten to do a lot of stuff. I know you got to recently be on a few covers of some comics. I know you are kind of in the works about maybe starting your own brand in some places. What kind of doors has cosplay opened up for you and this panel in turn?
Cosplay has opened up so many different doors in different ways as well. I've definitely made a lot more friends who get me and get what it feels like being a Black nerd, and, you know, awkward in some aspects but fun and silly in other aspects. It's opened doors for me, like I said, for friendships. I'm more of myself. I met my boyfriend through cosplaying. I've definitely come out of my shell in terms of photography and learning how to pose and model. I've spoken at several panels, not even just my own, but other panels about being a nerd in cosplay, or being a woman who cosplays, or even prop making. So just different, different aspects of myself I've been able to speak about. I'm, like Teese said, I have now been on 2 Dynamite covers, and that whole process...
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Even that was so funny because I I didn't believe it at first. I made Red Sonja, and I took the pictures and I tagged Red Sonja on their Instagram page in Dynamite Comics. So then the talent scout at Dynamite Comics emailed me and they're like, "Oh my god, can we put you on the cover?" And I'm like, suspect. So I looked up the address just to make sure that it was the right thing, because you get a lot of weirdos on the internet, so I just really wanted to make sure.
Yeah, a lot of people trying to pull.
We'd like to put a picture of your feet on the cover of our next issue. Send them to this address.
Exactly.
Don't like that one bit.
Exactly. So
we'll definitely put them on the cover of Vogue magazine.
Yeah,
if you just send pictures of
your feet on the cover
of Vogue magazine, but it's like Vogue.
Can you imagine if Vogue came out with a foot edition?
Please, oh god,
that'd be awful.
Oh god, I hate feet.
Bad.
But yeah, so after realizing this, oh my god, this is legit, this is a real deal. I signed a contract. I sent them my picture, and then I was on the cover of Dynamite comic, I think it's number 3 of Red Sonja. And I got the comics, and I'm like, yes, this is real. And I posted it on Instagram, and then people started telling me, oh, I'm going to go pick up your comic. And I was like, you're going to go do what? And from Washington State to Miami to California, my comic was all over the country, and I didn't realize it. And I was just like, oh my goodness, my butt is on this comic. People know what my booty looks like. But it was
National butt model.
But it was like, I guess this is America's ass. Like, I
don't know. Chris Evans, move over.
It's time for VantaBlack's ass.
But it was just so funny to like that happened. I'm still in disbelief that it happened. And then I was joking around, and I'm like, I'm just gonna cosplay all the Dynamite ladies. Like, I'm gonna do Vampirella, and then I'm gonna do Deja Thoris. And the talent scout at Dynamite was like, yes, please do it all.
12 covers.
Do it. It's just be everywhere.
Play bingo with yourself. That's what I do.
And it's cute too, because then other cosplayers will be like, oh my god, how did you get this cover? I'm like, oh, you want their info? You want to be on a cover too? Please tell me your email, give me your information. Just because that's like how I am. I want, if I'm gonna win, I want everyone to win too. So it was great to be like, having a door open for me means having doors open for other people. And you know, that's what I really want. I want to pass the torch so that, you know, let me walk so others can run, or whatever cheesy quote.
And we had talked about that last time before. Unfortunately, we lost that recording. But like, this idea of exclusivity and coveting information in cosplaying communities is so
whack,
outdated, and like so antithetical to, it feels like, the ethos of the community itself. Like, if you have tips, if you have suggestions, if you found like a cool new thing, share it with people. Like, you're only gonna help people. What, is somebody gonna steal your spotlight? Is that really what you're worried about? That somebody's gonna be a better whatever than you? No, like, share.
Literally, just
it just makes
share.
it so much more fulfilling for everyone.
It is. It really is. And, you know, sharing is caring. I feel like we're a community. You know, we should be helping each other and helping each other succeed, because there's enough at the table for all of us to sit. You know, and as being a Black cosplayer, as difficult as it can be, you know, a lot of, you know, 20 years ago, there wasn't that many Black cosplayers. So now that there's more of us, it's like, okay, but we can all eat. Like, let's not exclude ourselves from each other, because they already didn't want us. We can all bring ourselves together.
Yeah.
There's strength in community.
Yes.
And community could just be as simple as just giving somebody a link if they ask you where you got something. And I also feel like it helps build your community that way. I think if you can keep sharing stuff with people who ask you questions, they know that they can trust you. They know that you could come to you with information that you're willing to share and help. And I think that speaks volumes to you as a person and your character stuff like that. And in turn, that makes me think, wow, like it makes me feel like I could be friends with that person. I know I can come to this person and they won't like
shun me
behind dry. They won't treat me dirty. And I think that's something that we should all look for in friends, especially in the cosplay community, when the cosplay community is something that's so narcissistic sometimes.
Yes.
And
yes.
Just drag them, Teese.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's true. And
it is.
I think that's a really great quality to have as a person, and a really good attitude to have as well. And I think more people should be in that same school of thought, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
especially when you have like clout in the cosplay community. Like,
Yeah.
you can be this paragon of like, hey, let's be inclusive, you know, we want to help people, we want to tell people, and like, we want to make room for other cosplayers. Like, that's hugely important because that's what the babies in the community are going to see, and they're going to internalize.
Yes.
I mean, how many times have we been in bathrooms putting on stray pieces of cosplay shit, and it's somebody's first time cosplaying, and they ask you if you could tell them if their wig is on straight or something like that. And every time somebody has a good experience like that, that encourages them to keep cosplaying and to keep growing as a cosplayer.
Does.
And I think that means way more than any some guy with a nice camera asking for your photo randomly in the dealer's hall, you know? I think I would rather never get my picture taken but continue to encourage somebody to keep cosplaying forever than get a million pictures. And like, I don't even get pictures half the time anyway because I always end up cosplaying weird shit. But the point
She's
still
like,
stands.
hello, welcome to my Tulip cosplay.
You joke, but like, I do want to cosplay Tulip.
Fucking do it.
I want to. I'll do it.
And the last Anime NYC I went to, I was getting ready for my panel and I saw this girl. Where was she? I think she was in Dwayne Reed, and she was trying to get bobby
The
pins.
experience.
Oh god, she was trying to.
Oh my god, you told me about this.
Yeah, she was Zoro from One Piece, but she had this long green wig, and it was her first time cosplaying. She was so nervous, and she was looking for bobby pins, and they didn't have them. But I, who always has bobby pins, had them. So we were walking and talking, and walked to Anime NYC, and then we got in together. And then she was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to deal with my hair, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right, I got you. No worries. So I like braided her hair.
Sit down.
Pinned it up, put on the wig cap, showed her how to do everything, put on the wig on her, styled it, brushed it out. And she was like, you're so nice. I can't believe you did this. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, we've all been there. Like, like, don't worry. People in the community are all like this. Like, there's definitely a lot of people who will help you. And she was just like the sweetest baby bean. And I'm like, oh my god, this was me 5 years ago.
Yeah. How many times have we walked from places like Penn Station directly to the Javits Center? Or how many times have we been a few blocks away in a hotel and you see somebody who looks vaguely scared and you offer to show them the way how to get there? I remember, I think maybe it was like 2013, 2014. So I was maybe like 18 or 19. And it was at Anime Next back when it was still in its old location before where it is currently. And there was somebody having like a whole ass cry in the corner, like on the grass. And I was like, I don't know what it was, but I was like, I need to go talk to this person to make sure that they're okay. And I was like, hi, I have some tissues. Are you okay? Like, do you need any help? Like, do you need to use my phone? Are you here with anybody? Is there anything I could do to help you? And like, her whole entire face just lit up. Like, there's like I said, I want the community to be good.
Yeah.
So
we're all
I'm
just
willing to
fucking
help.
nerds sitting in the dark watching anime. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt to be nice to one another.
Literally.
And I feel like conventions are also so high energy. Everybody's exhausted by the third
they're very
day.
overwhelming and
It's-
super overstimulating.
Yes.
Yeah, and trust me, I've been there. Like, I too have cried at conventions in corners and stuff like that. And I want to make sure everybody has a fun time.
Yeah.
Including random strangers I've never met before.
Yeah.
I don't know that girl's name. We didn't swap socials. But at the end of the day, you know, like, I made sure that her weekend was going to get better.
And now, Teese, she's the Vice President of the United States.
Congratulations.
Kamala Harris.
I stopped Kamala Harris from crying at an anime convention.
Imagine if she was a weeb. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Stop. I don't want to even think about that.
We're
Like,
gonna
go
get to a
away.
point where we have a president who references anime at some point.
I mean,
that's gonna happen.
I think about Meg the Stallion, who was a whole ass Todoroki on the cover.
That's right.
Like, I love her so much, and I just aspire.
Every time Michael B. Jordan wears a Naruto shirt in public, I just scream.
I just crack up.
It's so good.
I think Rihanna too is like a whole ass weeb on the inside, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can't explain why, but that
exactly.
tracks.
It makes sense. I don't know why, but it makes sense. Henry Cavill
None of us like Kanye, but he's referenced.
No, don't give that to him.
No.
I know.
Yeah.
He doesn't exist here.
No.
Somebody else really likes Anna. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis fucking loves One Piece. And I think that's
I don't know
delightful.
why that checks out, but that checks out.
She
Jamie
loves
Lee
Chopper
Curtis is such a
so
delight.
much.
And Henry Cavill is like obsessed with WoW, which is
really
yeah.
Oh yeah, Henry Cavill is like a very accomplished WoW player, and like
that's fuck wild. I love that.
So he almost missed his call from Zack Snyder because he was in a raid or something. And he was like, "Hold on, I gotta take this call." And they were like, "Did you get the part?"
Oh my god, could you imagine being in a guild with Henry Cavill?
No, I do not.
No, but I can imagine being in a guild with Geralt of Rivia.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
When is The Witcher coming back? I want that shit back. That shit was great.
They started filming.
Oh, What We Do in the Shadows started filming again as well, and I'm delighted.
Oh my god.
Juicy.
I mean, actually, that's another fun anime reference.
What We Do in the Shadows?
No. 1 Hour Photo starring Robin Williams. The Neon Genesis Evangelion figures that were used in the movie were from his own personal collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really big Evangelion
Rest in
fan.
peace.
Rest in peace.
I mean, he named his daughter Zelda.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, God
we
forbid.
knew.
We knew.
And I mean, we could even look at like LeVar Burton and Mika Burton and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. We love weebs.
We love weebs. I was cracking up. I don't remember what process it was in biochemistry, but it like ended up sounding like NGE. So I was like, yeah, the Neon Genesis Evangelicon pathway, and like I'd say it out loud to my best friend, to Dennis, my friend, and he would just be cracking up but like we knew what the pathway was about. We knew like what it meant, and I swear it was like
mnemonic devices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, weeb references saving our butts through college.
I think as we talk more about community and support, Vanta, what are some tips you would have for newbie cosplayers, or maybe people who are like you were afraid to approach cosplay but want to?
Listen up, nerds. What you gotta do? No. Number one, don't be afraid to try something new, because I looked at foam smithing and I was like, hell no, I can't do this. And then
I've never heard it called foam smithing. That's incredible.
Oh, that's such a good way to use it, though.
Yeah, foam smithers are like fantastic, the stuff that they make, and it's great too because you see them making stuff, and then some of the best foam smithers work for Marvel and they make props for TV, and I'm like, that's
so cool.
That's like the goal,
Yeah,
definitely try something new. My first foam smithing project landed me on the cover of Dynamite Comics, so like it's worth it. It's worth it. Don't be afraid to learn how to sew. Like, definitely learn how to sew. Don't be afraid. It seems scary and intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad. Be patient with yourself, which is my number one rule, because I'm not patient with myself and I need to be. And don't be afraid to reduce, reuse, and recycle. I made a quiver out of a Pringles can. That's my favorite prop I've ever made.
I love that.
Apparently, the man who invented Pringles is entombed in a Pringle can.
I love
a really,
that.
really big Pringle can?
No,
I don't know if maybe he was cremated and put into the can.
That seems more probable. Yeah,
most likely.
I love that.
I don't know if you could convince a funeral home to put you in a very big
Some of
Pringle
his ashes
can.
were buried in a Pringle can at his request. So he was cremated, but his whole body is not shoved into a little Pringles
I was about to say, as a funeral director, I would highly disagree putting somebody in a body in a Pringle can.
We all are putting our bodies in a Pringle
it's
can
my last
now.
wish. It's what I want.
Put me in the Pringles can now.
Will that be the title of this episode? Put me in the Pringles can now.
Speaking with funeral director and cosplayer, VantaBlack.
don't be afraid to reach out to some of the old heads, not gonna lie. Because when I first started, I asked like one or two well-known Black cosplayers, what do I do? How do I get into it? And I talk to them like once a week now. They're so cool. They're so chill. They give me advice. They hype me up all the time. Yeah, don't be afraid to talk to people. There's good and bad in every community, but there's a lot of people in this community who are willing to help you and help you learn. So just reach out and, to all the newbies out there, hit me up on Instagram. I will send you all the links and, be that proud auntie in the back, cheering you on.
I'll do it too. Come find me. Either one of us, you see the two of either or. Yeah, we'll be at a con.
I've got the.
You just make eye contact. With us and just come talk to us. We'll be okay.
In SpongeBob, there's like, I'm your number one fan. That's me.
I love that.
What are some cosplays you have in the works that you're really excited about?
Insert
in a pandemic.
Screams quietly. I really like doing carnival costumes, and actually, today would have been Mardi Gras, and yesterday was Carnival Monday in Trinidad. And as carnivals are a big part of West Indian culture. My parents are from Barbados, so this is a part of my culture. So I like, my personal slogan is cosplay, but make it West Indian. So I really want to focus on doing a carnival version of a kitsune. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I know the colors I want to use. I know the techniques I want to implement into making it look really cool, and that's going to be like my big project for the year. Other things I'm working on, Sylvanas from WoW. My boyfriend loves WoW.
A queen.
And to like learn more about it, I'm like, okay, well, why don't I just like dive in and make Sylvanas cosplay? Because
absorb lore via cosplay osmosis.
Literally. I mean,
this is how you get Henry Cavill. This is how you get him.
This is how I do it. Like, I mean, Sylvanas is a bad bitch. Like, let's not.
She is. Her design is.
Yeah, chef kiss.
Tasty.
And she also does that banshee thing and screams like, oh, I love it.
Ooh.
You love to see it.
You love to see it. You love to hear it.
You love to hear it and see it.
Who's the kitsune from KDA? From League of Legends? Do her. Heal me. Ari? Yeah, do Ari so I could be free. I'm calling on a job. Callie, go to work.
Yeah, will you be doing an Akali cosplay?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Now, she do have a job, and she do go to work.
You right.
Just the stun silence.
Widowmaker is also on my list. I'm just gonna be like purple for the whole year.
Oh my god, yeah. I was purple 2019, and it was great. I was Shiraishi in 2019, and he's purple. I cosplayed Kasumi Bang Dream, who is purple adjacent. And yeah, well, I mean, her character color is purple, and she has purple eyes, so she's purple adjacent.
Fair.
Actually, no, that's a lie. Her character color is red, but I still picture her as a purple bitch.
But when will you cosplay Grimace?
Please, I will do it. And first live show.
Sexy Grimace cosplay. Sexy Grimace.
I will be the Hamburglar.
Oh my god, please. Can we just do a group?
Please.
That's like a Katsu after hour group right there. Sexy McDonald's gang. Cass, you could be sexy McNuggy buddies.
They're already sexy. I don't have to change anything
Y'all are laughing,
about them.
but I'm entirely down to do this. Katsu
I would do
after
it.
hours?
I would do it.
Yes.
Let's do it. I will never
Rest
go to
in
Katsu
peace,
again,
Katsu.
but I'll do it.
All right, as we wrap up here, Vanta, if people want to support you or check out more of your work, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at VantaBlack Cosplay. You can find me on Twitter at VantaBlack Cos. You can find me on Discord at Vanta's Vortex, which is also linked on my Instagram account. My birthday is on Sunday, so if you guys want to shout out and say hello. That'd be great. Wish me happy birthday. I would appreciate it.
I think the episode will actually come out the day after your birthday.
Who cares? Happy belated birthday. She deserves the attention. Teese.
We'll make a tweet. Don't worry.
Thanks.
Happy birthday to our guest episode.
The episode will be as old as you are.
Yes.
Impeccable.
Wow.
It'll age with you. It'll actually start aging so that you don't have to.
I love that. I'm here for that.
The portrait of Dorian Gray, but it's your podcast.
But it's the podcast.
If you want to help me live forever, you can find me on social media where I will be aging there and exclusively there. I am everywhere at Valhethella. Teese, if people want to find more of you, where can they get you at?
You can find me at Vicunad. That's Vicunad. I am never going to die due to genetics, but we can pretend that I will. If you're interested in letting the podcast never die, you can follow us online on both Twitter and Instagram, even though the Instagram is a desolate wasteland, at Authors Note Pod. And if you have any questions, comments, or queries, you could also shoot us a DM on either one of those platforms or give us an email at authorsnotepod@gmail.com.
You can also help support us by leaving a review or sharing the podcast with your friends. If you really enjoyed the episode and feel like throwing a couple dollars our way, we super duper appreciate that. I mean, we appreciate all the love and support we get anyway. But we are on Ko-fi, that's Ko-fi, and we are Authors Note Pod over there. Teese, who made our wonderful theme music?
Our wonderful theme music was made by James Yaiullo. You could find him on Bandcamp under James Y. If you liked it, make sure you buy some stuff from him on Bandcamp Fridays, which gives musicians a little bit more funds than they normally do every other day of the week. And Cass, who made our cover art?
Our cover art was made by the ageless, ineffable, incomprehensible Nyaliest. You can find her on Twitter at Nyaliest. That's Nyalliest. Until next time, be supportive to all your fellow cosplayers. Don't go to cons right now, though. Wear 2 masks, and most importantly, be safe.
Wash your hands. Bye.
Bye.